hang on 1 second here. We're going live, Andrea. It says
we're live now.
It says we're live. What do you think of that?
I wonder if we have any live people out there today.
Well, we might, or we might not. Hopefully, I wouldn't want any dead people on there.
Right.
That wouldn't be any fun.
Hey, we're tuning in today for Doctor's Clinic with Doc, Fizz, and friends. We're hoping that you're having a great day. We are. And
That's right.
I'm up here on the beach.
You know, Andrea, that is so cool that you have a job. You can work from the beach from a lawn chair. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
That's right. Oh, what do I do? Well,
Yeah.
I advocate health to people and help them optimize their health.
Optimize their health.
Yes.
Right. What if they're not healthy to begin with?
Well, we have some natural solutions for them that they can look at the information and give it a try.
Give it a try. There you go. Get better, and then optimize.
That's right.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Andrea, we're having kind of a sloppy day down here in North Dakota. Last night we had 80-mile-an-hour winds go through, and
wow.
And then we had 2 inches of rain in an hour.
Well, I just got a little bleep on my phone that said we're going to have severe storms tomorrow night. So
yeah,
we headed our way.
But what's nice is that it washed out all that smoke out of the air from, that's been blowing down from those wildfires in Canada. So you can see I got these bags under my eyes. I've been sinuses are all stuffed up, breathing in all that smoke for the last 4 days.
Oh yeah, I believe it. My daughter was caught in 3 fires in California 2 years ago.
That's right, I remember.
Yeah, and it's caused her some health issues with her eyes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Andrea, as we're sitting here talking about health and we're talking about different things that affect your health like that, this morning you and I were talking about what we should discuss on the call this morning. That's
right, and you came up with the hottest topics on health for 2019.
The hottest topics, yeah. This is an article. This is kind of a press release. It's not really an article. This is a press release that comes from the American Society for Nutrition. They had their annual convention in Baltimore just in June of this year.
Yes, I read that article.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. And so they're talking about what the hot topics are, highlights from Nutrition 2019.
Now, it's amazing because it's all stuff we've been talking about. We must be right on the right path.
It really is. It's like they were listening to what you and I have been talking about here on the call and started discussing it. The first topic we talked about, it said, you are what your microbes eat. There's trillions of microbes in our digestive tract that play an important role in keeping us healthy and free from disease. And in this opening symposium, the experts talked about how diet influences your microbiome.
Oh my goodness. How many times have we talked about that recently?
Right. Isn't it the topic that we've had probably the most discussion on of anything?
Yeah. And it's not just us. All of a sudden, I'm seeing it everywhere.
Everywhere.
I think they are listening in to you and me.
That's right. We're trendsetters.
We are.
Right. But even the American Medical Association had some information about it, and they said that the microbiome is so important. So again, listen to the headline. You are what your microbes eat.
Aha.
Right? What was the saying that we used to hear as kids?
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. Right? And then I used to hear, you are what you don't get rid of, right?
Oh, I've never heard that one, but I believe it.
Right? And now they're saying you are what your microbes eat. So what they're basically saying is that the microbiome, the microorganisms in your microbiome, they kind of influence all of your genetics. They influence your DNA, the expression of your DNA.
Wow. See how
So-
important that is?
So what thing have we been talking about lately that really affects the microbiome?
Glyphosates,
Yeah, as far as things in the environment, right?
right?
It has a negative influence on it. And then we've been talking about fulvic acid.
Right. That has a positive influence.
It has a positive influence on it because what fulvic acid does is it creates an environment. It creates a place where the healthy bacteria can thrive.
You know, my brain's coming up with an analogy here. If you think of your gut biome as a field for crops or a garden, and you're putting insecticides and fungicides and all that stuff in it, right? Then you ruin the soil. You're getting that stuff in your plants you're growing.
Yeah.
And if you're instead putting compost in, which is really what fulvic acid is, it's like a billion-year-old compost. Putting compost in, you're enriching the soil, and then you get healthy plants. So
There you go.
like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Andrea. And then what happens is that the microbiome, the healthy bacteria, they make up the semi-permeable membrane, so they get to decide what nutrients come in, what nutrients come out.
Wow, that's important then.
Yeah, so very, very important. And so that was one of the topics. Then their next topic, I'm just reading this on my phone as I'm going. The next topic was on fat. It said fat from foe to friend. And it says ketogenic and other high-fat diets are popular, but are they good for you? I just got a text in. I got to read around it. So it says, esteemed researchers present the science behind the diets and lead an audience discussion on the controversial topic.
You know what? About 3 years ago, ketosis, keto diet, all of that became the hottest topic in the metabolic medical field.
Yeah.
Like all of the conferences they were having, and everything, that was their topic. That's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
The big fat lie.
The big fat lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because back in the 60s, they decided that they wanted to I think that they wanted sugar to be thought of as a health food.
Right.
So they started putting the blame on fat. They were saying that that's why we were fat. But if you watch old movies from the 50s and 60s, there wasn't a lot of obese people in those movies. Now,
no, not at all. In fact, I just posted a photo from probably the 60s based on the dress code I saw. And there wasn't one obese person in the crowd. It was a whole crowded beach.
really?
Not one obese person. Just try to walk in any store today and look around and see if you see 100 people without having obese people in it.
Yeah, but do you remember that ad? It was kind of a cartoonish type of an ad, and it said, "Are you the skinny man on the beach?" And then it showed some big muscular guy taking sand to the skinny guy's face.
Right, I remember that.
You remember the ad? Do you know what it was for? Do you remember what it was for?
No, I don't.
Sugar.
Sugar. Get your
Right?
domino sugar, right?
But they've made fat the culprit for years, and now all of a sudden they're finding out that yeah, certain fats are really bad for us.
Yes.
But just like there's healthy carbs, there's healthy fats, and the ones that come from nature, a lot of them are healthy for us.
Full of nutrition.
Full of nutrition. And so then the next topic was the health effects of cannabis.
How about that?
Yeah, state legalization has expanded access to cannabis for medical and recreational purposes and created a rapidly expanding market for food products containing marijuana and hemp derivatives. With a focus on nutrition-related issues, experts will discuss the impact of cannabis on appetite, energy balance, neurodevelopment, as well as challenges of cannabis in the food supply.
Yes, you and I have talked quite a few times this spring and summer about our body having a whole endocannabinoid system with receptors for cannabinoids, you know, and you don't just get cannabinoids from the marijuana plant that everybody is concerned about, but you get it from hemp. You get it from other things too, peppers and different things like that. So, you know, we're designed to use these cannabinoids to balance our body back into health, back into homeostasis.
That's right. Yeah, they're saying certain cannabinoids are actually they work like neurotransmitters in your body. So they move chemical messages from your brain to your body, and so healthy for you.
That's important. And we just came out with a government-approved CBD hemp extract oil.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Sizzle hemp oil.
Well, they took their time. They went out to contract with an organic farmer. They went out and tested the soil where he grows hemp to make sure that it was clean and pure, you know, to live up to the standards of Sizzle products. And they took their time and went through all the government processing to get it government approved. And then they went out and got third-party research done on it so that what is on our label is actually in our product, unlike about 80% of the CBD products on the market.
That's right. Yeah, so many of the products, I think what they do is they saw the farm bill that passed earlier this year, and they said, oh, we got to jump into the market. So now you got all those, you know, all the people who have been getting high since the 60s, you know, the potheads, all of a sudden they see it as a way of capitalizing on a market. And so they're making products, you know, they're making stuff in their bathroom and in their kitchen, and they're throwing it on the market. And they're finding that most of these products don't contain any of the oils that they say they do.
Right. And well, then you have companies too that are hopping on it because it's a hot topic. And look at when we went on our tour, how many gas stations did we see a big sign out front says CBD oil here? I mean, I'm not going to go buy a product I'm going to put in my body at a gas station, you know, that should be a pharmaceutical grade product.
That's right.
And now we have a new product out and revolving around the hemp.
Tell us about that.
I don't know much about it. They just popped it out last week. It's CBD.
Yeah,
oil.
last week they came out with a CBD,
lotion.
Yeah, a lotion that you rub it into the joints where you have an achy joint, and it concentrates the CBD oil right into that joint or into that affected body part, and it helps to relieve pain and tension and stress and all of that.
Yeah, I already saw people responding with testimonies about how it was working for them.
Yeah, and we're using the same CBD oil that we have in our regular CBD oil. We're just putting it into a lotion. And so when you're looking at the Sizzle Safe CBD oil, what's nice about it, it's a full spectrum. And full spectrum is important because they're finding that every piece of the plant, every little piece, every little oil has a benefit. And they all work together synergistically. So if you try and take one out, it's not going to be as effective.
Yeah, you know, I've heard people talking about it before, and they go, well, we've got the A in it, and we've got the B in it, and we've got this and that in it. And it's like, you got to have the whole thing.
You've got to have the whole thing. You know, and then we have high potency. We have 1,500 milligrams in a bottle. So you're getting 25 milligrams per dose.
Right.
And most of these oils that you get on the market, you know, I started buying CBD oil about 4 years ago, and the CBD oils that I was buying, it had 5 milligrams per dose.
I don't think that's quite enough. You know, there's something to be said about getting an effective dose.
Yeah, and what I found is that none of them actually worked, and so I wasn't getting any benefit from it. So when Sizzle came out with their CBD oil, I was a little skeptical. I wasn't really hip to it because I thought, man, I tried CBD oil. They didn't really do much for me. And lo and behold, I got my bottle, and it showed up at 6 o'clock at night. I'd been working in the yard all day, so I was a little sore, and I took the product, and immediately I got results.
Yes, and you said something there that I think we should bring up, that just because our company comes out with a product doesn't mean that we automatically jump on the bandwagon about that product. But what happens in the end? We find out it's the best of the best. That's
right. That's right. So we have a great product. So then the next topic is that they talked about at this nutrition conference was, what is the role of animal source of foods in good nutrition? So I was just reading an article earlier before we decided on this as the topic, and they were saying that a plant-based diet, it's really hard to get your EPA DHA out of a plant-based diet. Did you know that?
Well, could you explain what that is?
So EPA DHA, what they are is those are healthy fats that come from fish oil. And
what if you don't eat fish?
So you don't have to eat fish. It's in our capsules, in our products.
Okay.
But they're saying that it's hard to get EPA DHA from a plant-based diet. Sure, you can get EPA from flaxseed oil. You can get EPA from certain plants, but it's just not the same as what they're saying. And EPA is the oil that comes in fish oil that gets rid of inflammation. And we're finding that inflammation is one of the primary components of almost any chronic disease. Last week, you and I talked about chronic disease. What can you do to lower your risk of chronic disease? Well, fish oil is on the top of the list. And in our fish oil, we have a variety of different oils. We don't just have the EPA DHA. We've got the omega-3s, we got the omega-5s, we got omega-7s, right?
Right, all in a combination for you.
Yep. And then on top of it, we call it Super Omega Plus. And what's the plus part?
I forgot.
You forgot? CoQ10.
You told me last week.
You lay on the beach and the sun has melted your brain. What's up, Andrea?
That's right.
Right. And CoQ10 is an enzyme that we need. It's for cardiovascular health.
Right.
I won't get into it anymore.
We talked about CoQ10 about a month ago on a call, and you were explaining that much of the CoQ10 on the market is really CoQ9, I believe. It's not really the real deal.
That's right. And then they're saying that vitamin D is hard to get from a plant-based diet.
Uh-huh.
While you're out there soaking up sunshine, getting lots of vitamin D, activating your vitamin D, it's hard to get that from a plant-based diet, but you can get it from animal fat. And again, talking about healthy fats. And then they're talking about vitamin B12 is hard to get from a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
So that's what they talk about. So really, so what they're saying here is foods from animals provide essential micronutrients, and some believe improving access to these foods would reduce global micronutrient deficiencies.
Wow.
They're saying animal food is what we need. They said the U.S. and other countries have witnessed a decline in meat and dairy consumption due to various factors, including reports of the environmental impact of animal agriculture. And so the symposium will tackle complex questions on the place of animal source foods in sustainable diet. And so they're basically saying that they're finding out that a plant-based diet really isn't the healthiest diet.
Right, because there's other things you need. We were designed to eat what God provided, in my opinion.
Yeah. The next topic they talked about was, should the degree of food processing influence what we eat. So they went on to say a new public health nutrition strategy advocates for classifying foods based on the degree of processing and recommends avoiding foods defined as ultra processed. Isn't that what we've been talking about? When more than half of energy intake in the US coming from ultra processed food, is a policy to avoid them feasible? Are these foods inherently less healthy? Well, of course they are. We process the nutrition out of them. How should lifestyle factors such as decline in home cooking be considered? What is the relationship between processed foods and obesity? So these and other questions will be answered at the symposium.
Yeah, like so many things there. Half of our food energy comes from processed foods. That's really high. You know, and they trick us too. They sneak things into the food and they give it a different name, so you don't know sometimes what you are eating.
That's right.
And so the fact that they're going to maybe come up with some kind of rating system for that would be great.
Yeah. So they're going to grade it. So you can tell, you know, they might put like, you know, 5 stars on a food that doesn't have any processing and 1 star on a food that's you know, processed the heck out of it, right? And so they're saying that we should all start cooking in our kitchens again. Good idea.
I agree. You know what? It's so much of the population eats out so often, and what's really sad is you know, so many times families are just like, it's pizza and it's McDonald's. It's pizza and it's McDonald's. And let me go buy you a 12-pack of Mountain Dew, you know, for the kids. And when you want to talk about obesity, there's a huge obesity problem with youth in this country.
That's right.
Yeah. So they're not getting their nutrition. And, you know, I used to live in Florida and we ate out very often. And anymore, it's like I can cook much better food at home very quickly than I can get in a restaurant and pay a lot of money for.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there was a period of time in my life after my divorce, and I ate out quite a bit, but you know, now I eat at home almost all the time. Well, heck, I got 700 pounds of meat in the freezer. If I go out, it's because I'm stupid.
Well, the only time I usually go out is like if I've just been working all day and I just don't feel like cooking, and I go out and grab something. Or if you're traveling, you know. That's
right. Right. And then, you know, so when we're relating this over to what our primary goal is to relate it to Sizzle product, you know, SpectraMax is such an important product, and Encompass 360, because we are deficient on nutrition. Even if you try and cook good, if you try and cook healthy in your own kitchen, you're going to be missing key nutrients. And one is Linus Pauling that said that chronic disease is caused by lack of
minerals. Yeah.
That's right. That's what product do we have that's just jam-packed with nutrition and minerals? SpectraMax, right? 40 antioxidants, 74 trace minerals. Just a great product. For those of you that are listening to the call, that's a great product. That's one that you should be on. It should be on the top of your list. I remember I was sitting with Tom Sr. on his deck one day out at the mountain cabin, and I asked him, I said, you know, if you had $50 and that's all you had in your pocket to spend on nutrition, what product would you buy out of the complete lineup of products that Sizzle had? What product would you buy? And I thought he was going to say Fucoid, you know, or Eternity, because at that time, those were kind of my 2 favorite products that I talked to people about a lot. And he said SpectraMax. And I'm like, really? And so he told me the story of SpectraMax, why it's so important, because you just start getting that nutrition. He said that when they make that product, because of all the vitamins and minerals that are found in it, it's one of those lost leader type products that they have that they really don't make a lot of profit off of it, because of the cost of making the product, because of all the nutrition that goes into it.
Yeah, wow.
And then Encompass 360 just complements that. You know, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we were talking about the Journal of the American Medical Association, and they said that it was prudent for every American to be taking a good multivitamin.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, how the soil's deficient. We don't get any of the vitamins and minerals that we even got 40 years ago.
That's right. And so that was his favorite product before the H pill, and now the H pill, of course, is way up here, and hydrogen water is way up here. Here's the last topic that they talk about at this nutritional conference: a focus on adolescent nutrition. And although a great deal of nutrition research on pregnancy and early childhood, adolescence is the key time for establishing diet and other lifestyle habits, right? So we shouldn't be teaching kids to be drinking Mountain Dew for breakfast. And the cross-disciplinary session will examine the unique nutritional needs and challenges of adolescents, tackling problems that are quite different in industrialized versus low and middle income countries. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and I mean, even when I was a teenager, you know, what did we like to eat? We'd like to grab French fries, and I mean, I had a home cooked meal almost every single night, but you know, that was like high on the priority list, is getting, you know, burgers and fries and things like that. It was almost a treat, but that's what we went for. That's what we were interested in eating, you know. And even when my kids were younger, I just learned a product that I sold way back in 1979 that was a household staple almost, was made and had high chemical content, toxic content in it. And I posted that the other day and said, sorry, kids, I didn't know about toxins back then.
Right.
But, you know, I didn't know about nutrition like I do now, too. And I would have totally fed my children a lot different than I am, you know, than I did.
Yeah. Yep. So all the stuff that we ate 20 years ago is coming back to haunt us now.
Right.
You know, they say even cancer starts growing in you a lot of times 20 years before you ever even know that you have it.
Yep. So you got a lot of time to do really good stuff to get rid of it, because your body can overcome that.
That's right. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and her mom was diagnosed with cancer, and she said, well, what can we do about it? And I said, well, first thing we have to do is we have to, you know, be honest. We can't say cure. We can't say treat. You know, nutritional products don't cure anything. They don't treat anything. But what they do is they optimize health. You know, at the beginning of this call, I asked Andrea, you know, what does she do? Here she gets to hang out on the beach and she's working. And I said, what are you doing? Andrea, what was your answer?
Optimizing, helping people to optimize their health.
Optimize their health.
And fantastic products.
That's right. And so when you start looking like at products that Sizzle has, we've got a product called fucoidan. And fucoidan, it's made from an extract of brown seaweed. And they found that in relationship to cancer, it does something that's called anti-angiogenesis. And what that really means is it cuts off the blood supply to tumors. And we're exposed to cancer cells every single day in our life, no matter who you are. But if the cancer cells don't set root, if they don't connect to anything, it can't cause cancer. It can't cause cancerous growth.
Right.
And so by cutting off the blood supply to these tumors, you got to believe it's going to be good. And so I'm telling her about that. And then I was talking to her about fulvic acid. And I was talking to her about Body Shield, because Body Shield is our product that has fulvic acid. What other product has fulvic acid?
Well, it also removes toxins from the body.
That's right.
And toxins are a high contributor to that condition.
Yeah. So fulvic acid is considered to be one of the miracle molecules. It goes in the cell and it grabs the toxins out, pulls them out, but at the same time, it's pushing good nutrition in. So it's moving the good stuff in, it's pulling the bad stuff out. And you better believe that's going to be healthy for you.
Exactly what they need.
Yeah. And then it creates that healthy microbiome. Like Andrea said, it's like having a healthy soil that you can grow your plants in, you can grow your garden in, so you can have a good crop. And so it creates that environment. And so very, very important. So, you know, Andrea, I think that when you look at the topics in nutrition, They must be following us around and following Sizzle around and just going, hey, these guys got a great product here. Let's talk about it. And so we're right up there in the top. And that's why I like working with this company. That's why I like working with Sizzle. Do we have everything? Absolutely not. There's not going to be any company in the world that's going to have everything. But the products that we do have, they're way up here.
They're exceptional, for sure.
That's right. And everybody should be on them. Andrea, if you go on a vacation and you could only take 3 products with you, what products would you take?
Well, I'm on vacation right now. I have Age Pill, I have Body Shield, and I have Fucoidan.
That's the 3 products that you took. Plus, I'm sure you have more. But
yep, I do.
But those would be the 3 that you take, yeah. And then are you using the Actify?
The what?
Actify? Skincare? Actify?
Oh, I use Transfusium.
Okay, I like using Actify when I'm out in the sun because it has a really good SPF factor.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, so I use that. I find that way I don't have to put on the toxic sunscreens.
I'm pretty much a professional sunburner, right? I'm a redhead.
A professional sunburner.
I'm currently at this lake that I've been coming to for close to 60 years. And got burnt here as a child dozens and dozens of times, like a lobster. And I quit using sunscreen last year, and I'll tell you what happened. I work outside a lot, like in the summer, I'm always building something or gardening, stuff like that. And I just decided I wasn't going to wear sunblock anymore. So I'd go out and work, and I'd, try to stay in the shade and protect myself somewhat, but there are days that you get burnt. And what I noticed is when I get burnt, it doesn't hurt. And it also repairs itself overnight. You know why? Why I think it is? I think it's from the Age Pill.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the studies that came out on nicotinamide riboside, which is one of the ingredients in the Age Pill. Nicotinamide riboside actually repairs damage from UVA rays.
Awesome. Because and my skin improvement was one of the first signs I saw after taking the Age Pill.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the Age Pill. I mean, it's got nicotinamide mononucleotide. It's got nicotinamide riboside. It's got nicotinaminic acid. It's got these different vitamins and nutrients that help your cells so that it creates more NAD, and NAD is the primary source of energy for the cell. And then the cell can repair itself. So when you cause damage, you've got something that'll repair that damage.
Well, it seems to be working for me.
There you go. Yeah, you're looking younger, and that's important, because if you're going to live another 50 years, you don't want to look another 50 years older, do you?
Oh no, I don't.
There you go. All right.
I'm getting younger and younger.
Younger and younger. Pretty soon you'll be the same age as your girls.
Yeah, I'll be the same age as you.
There you go. All right. Well, Andrea, I know we've gone overtime a little bit. I'm going to let you close up the call. Folks, thanks for sticking with us today and finding about this. I find it fascinating that the hot topics in nutrition are the same things that Andrea and I talk about every single week. And so, it's not coincidence that we're on track. The company's on track because we're trying to make your life easier. We're trying to make you healthier. And when you get to be 100 years old, we're going to try and help you so that you have good health. So, Andrea, I'm going to hand it over to you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Doc, for always being on here on Tuesday. We do like to share good health information, and I don't know if anybody else has heard about it. I know many people know about it, but if you go out and walk with your bare feet on the ground, it's called grounding, and you actually get your body reconnected to the Earth's magnetic core, and it relieves pain symptoms in your body. So after I've been out working in the garden and stuff, during the day, I'm usually, my feet are sore, and my knees are sore, and different things like that. And Not only do I use my Sizzle products, but I go out and walk around barefoot for 15 minutes and feel much better. So I thought today the gentle lapping of my lake would give you guys a little peace and tranquility while you listen to us. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye.